Greetings, this is Coach Marty Eggleston, and today is a micro coaching session describing an excerpt from the written capstone coaching performance evaluations coaching session plan that I submitted back in February. In this brief micro coaching session, I'm demonstrating a defensive drill specific to closing out on a shooter and also some defensive footwork. This is crucial to effective basketball defense. So this session also reflects my broader coaching philosophy, which we try to describe and center on the developing athletes holistically. So we're going to use the four-corner model that we've talked about in the past, the technical, tactical, the physical, the psychological, and social. So the technical, tactical development is the key to any defensive drill. In this session, I emphasize proper footwork. You'll hear me talking to Mike about this later in the video. Positioning and reaction times. Because it's a brief video, you won't necessarily get a chance to hear all of these things, which is why I'm explaining them to you now. So the closeout drill, the lateral defensive slides, they require players to apply their technical knowledge in real time. So this is ensuring that they have proper stance, balance, body control, and such. So, I remind players to avoid overcommitting and lunging and jumping in his defensive moves. Instead, I want them to focus on controlled precision actions that help them stay effective against offensive players. So each drill builds on this technical foundation, allowing athletes to sharpen their tactical decision making in different game scenarios. On the physical side, the session integrates exercises that push players to develop quickness, their agility, and their endurance. Defensive movements like lateral slides and closeouts challenge players to maintain low stance, to engage their core, and use explosive movements to stay in front of their opponents. These exercises also emphasize the importance of safety and injury prevention by promoting controlled movements and proper body mechanics. So throughout the session, I encourage players to stay hydrated. This was actually kind of a post-workout, so Mike had already been kind of ready to go. And remain aware of their bodies, obviously, to avoid fatigue, discomfort, and other things that hinder their performance. From a psychological aspect of defense, is really about developing mental resilience, focus and awareness, and other things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to move on quickly. You can pause the video and read here if you need to get the gist of the rest of what we're talking about. But I want to get right into the video.
Hello, my name is Coach Marty Eggleston, and today we're going to be doing a micro session today. We're going to talk a little bit about defensive drills for high-level basketball players. Today I'm going to be joined by Mike. He's going to be helping us out today. We're going to work on some closeouts, and we're going to go through a few things that we do in our practices on a daily basis. So in our session today, we're going to start with some defensive drills. Specifically, we're going to focus on improving defensive positioning, reaction time, and footwork. These are some key skills that can really help you become more of an effective player on defense, especially in high-pressure situations. So today, of course, we're going to make sure that we're focused and we're going to have a productive session. But before we start, just a quick reminder, we need to be mindful of safety at all times. So we're going to make sure that we keep everything controlled. What we've done is we've scanned the room. We've made sure that all things are in position as they should be around the gym. We've done that. But one thing I have noticed is that, Mike, you do have on your earrings. So if you could, just take those off, put those on the table for me, and then we're going to get started. One of the things that we think is very valuable is that each of our players maintains safety at all times. So he's taped and rocked and ready to go. We're going to warm him up. Just take just a few minutes. You'll see the clock running there in the background, and then we will get started. So let's do this. I'm teaching the session, but I'm also the cameraman in this particular instance. So there'll be times when you see Mike in the video or me. It'll be difficult to get us both in, but we're going to try to make that happen. So here's what I need you to do for me, Mike. Just hit. Hello, my name's Coach Marty Eggleston.
Mike's going to get to the baseline there. So as Mike prepares, we'll get to the rest of the session.
So Mike has hit the baseline for us. So here's what we're going to do. Just simply jog it out. We'll go half court and back. Our standard series, jog it out, get nice and loose. We're working on our lower extremities. Defense is lower extremity exercise.
So one thing I want us to remember is that obviously this is a brief session. If we were to have more of our players there, our season has ended early, and so we didn't make the playoffs. So this year we only had one or two guys left who were able to help us out with this particular exhibit. So all of what you'll see is kind of brief of what we would do under standard circumstances.
So he's just going to jog it out a few times, 2 or 3 times back, and then he'll backpedal 2 or 3 times back just to make sure. So he's been in the gym a little bit already, so he's kind of warm, but this is what we do during our standard. So now he's going to backpedal it out. Running backwards is just a little bit different dynamically for your body. And it's something that you're going to do in the game. One more time, down and back. Great, looking solid, nice and high. So now we'll just go high knees, real simple. Take your time. Try to land softly if you can. There you go. Land softly. One more if we can. There we go. There we go. So real simple, what we'll do now, Mike, is just lunge walk, okay, to get a good stretch. So Mike's nice and warm. As I said, he's been working out a little bit earlier. So he's just going to do a lunge walk, probably just to the top of the key and back, just to give you a bit of a demonstration of how we do it. You see he's nice and low. His knee is not touching the floor. He's nice and stretched. He's working on his lower back as well. His rear leg, his knee doesn't touch the ground. He keeps himself right above his knee. How you feeling? Nice, nice, nice. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to move on to some lateral defensive slides. Very simple. We're going to keep these short. So we're going to go starting on the key. We're going to start at the block. He's just going to show us a defensive stance. So before we do anything, we'll go through the defensive stance. So in many cases, we call this a athletic stance. So legs about shoulder width apart. On defense, they're maybe a little bit wider. Okay, he's going to get down in his defensive stance, knees bent, back straight, hands out, ready to be active on the ball. So let's say he's ready to slide to his right or to his left. He can push off with one foot moving in the opposite direction. So we're going to go from one side to the other. He's going to push off with what is his right foot slowly, just to kind of give you an idea of what it looks like. So defensive slide, push off, back. You don't have to drag that foot. You don't have to drag it. There we go. Don't gallop. Just slide, push off, and step with your opposite foot. So push off with your right, step off. There we go. There we go. See that? There we go. And he's staying low because what you don't want to do is hop in a basketball setting. So just a few more while I'm talking. In a basketball setting, what you'll realize is that when you hop in a basketball setting, you're in the ground, off the ground. Once you're off the ground, you're out of control. So you can't control your body while you're in the air. So the idea is to stay as low to the ground as possible. Nice. There we go. And so what that does gives him a nice opportunity to warm his hips, warm his knees and his back. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put Mike in the middle of the lane right here under the basket, and I am going to call out right or left. We're going to go to your right or your left, and real simple, he's just going to explode to one side or the other, and he is going to touch the sideline and get back to center. So if I were to say right, he would explode to his right and touch the line and then get back to middle. All right, so here we go. Right. There we go. So now what he's going to do is he's going to take two slides and he's going to just go strictly to the outside of the key to shorten the distance. So left. There we go. Back to center. Left. Right. 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 Left. There we go. Good, 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 good. So he's active. He's loud. He's going to be making some noise in there. If he were here with his teammates, what you would see is some communication. So you'd hear him and see him talking to his teammates, pointing, giving direction. So right now, for the sake of the drill, you're just going to see him activate. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to get into some closeouts on how you properly close out on a man shooting the ball. So once that happens, your game really activates. So what we're going to do is talk a little bit about, before I get there, are some of the session objectives. I have them written right here on the board behind me. Very simply, the session objectives here are the technical objective is to improve the player's positioning and effectiveness on challenging shots. The tactical objective is to enhance timing, to enhance accuracy, and communication, because obviously he'll be out here with 4 other teammates in a game situation. And lastly, the physical objective. Because this is an explosive, dynamic movement in a game, you're going to increase your cardiovascular endurance, your agility, and your explosiveness. So that's really kind of what we do here. This is a standard across the board when we're talking about basketball, especially when we're talking about defense. So, big fella, you ready? My man, I like it. So, here's what we'll do. We're gonna stop for a second and just to make sure that we're focused. Real quick, some of the things that we've gone through that we've talked about on defense, especially when closing out. Can you tell me some of the things that we've learned that you know about closing out on a shot?
You want to close out, stay on your feet, hands up, loud on the ball, and you don't want to take too long of steps. You're closing out because it could be easy.
Exactly. Okay, so and that kind of goes along with one of the things we talked about, which is staying on the ground. Okay, you mentioned that, and that's important because once you're in the air, you're at the will of the offensive player. Okay, so what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to simulate being a shooter. Okay, and you'll come at me. So I'm going to grab the ball here. Here's what I'll do. I know this isn't the most professional, but since it's just me and you, we're going to work this out. So you're going to be the cameraman just for a second. Keep me in the frame.
Yep.
And I'm going to be the shooter. So what will happen is I'm going to be the outside shooter here. I'm in position to shoot the ball. So imagine me standing here. What you're going to see next is you're going to see Mike closing out on me as the shooter. And what we'll do is we're going to refine his positioning. We're going to determine how he should stand, what his positioning should look like. So from a shooter's perspective, the ball is here, and you're going to see the defender closing out. So what you're going to see, and we're going to walk through this first. So Mike's going to shuffle out on the ball. He's not going to sprint, because let's say he were to sprint out at me and I just give him a fake. I get him in the air and boom, we get a foul. So tactically and technically, that's not valuable. So what he's going to do is he's going to shuffle out. So you're going to hear his feet. So you heard his feet squeaking. His hands are up and active. His eyes on the shooter, and he is going to challenge the shot. He's not swinging or swatting or trying to slap the ball. The ball is here, and he's up challenging the shot. So game speed, this is what it's going to look like. So here I am. He's going to do everything he'd do in the game. So he's going to communicate. He's going to call out that he's on ball. He's going to talk as if he were talking to his teammates. So here we go. Close out.
Ball, I got shooter.
Very simple. He's going to be loud. It's going to be explosive. You're going to hear him communicating to his teammates because each of his teammates need to understand what their proper position is. So again, one more time.
Ball, I got shooter.
So real simple. It can be unnerving at some times. So the idea is to startle the shooter a little bit, wouldn't you say?
I got shooter.
That's right. We're going to startle him a little bit, disrupt the shot the best way you can, obviously without fouling. So here's what it's going to look like. So we're going to simulate that there's a shooter in the corner because I want you to see what it looks like from the side. So there's a shooter here in the corner. So Mike is on the baseline, or on the block rather, and the ball would swing to the corner. What Mike would do is turn and close out on the shooter that's at a three-point shot. So he's going to close out. And just imagine right here in the corner, there's a shooter with the ball up, attempting to make a shot in the basket there. So that's how Mike will close out. So let's see that again, Mike. Ball swings, boom. If you notice, his hands are active. So let's say the offensive player is moving the ball. He is mirroring the ball. If the ball handler would swing the ball, he'd be able to get back to his spot. Very simple. So that's on-ball defense. There's not a lot to correct here. He and I have been doing this for so long. You'll notice that his feet, he's already prepared. His feet are in position. His hands are active. He's not jumping. So let's show what this would look like if you did this the wrong way. So Mike has hit the baseline for us. So here's what, very simple. Under another circumstance, you'd see obviously all 5 players playing exactly the same way when it comes down to defense. And we just appreciate the work, the time, the energy and effort and love for the game. This is Coach Marty. That's what closing out on a shooter looks like at a very high level. We're excited to do that for you, that demonstration. Have a great day. God bless.
Thanks for watching the video today. Obviously, it's difficult to be the videographer and also to teach the session at the same time, but we really had no other options at this point with no one available to join us. But I just want to thank Mike again for being kind enough to help us out today. And you can imagine what it would look like with all 5 players in their positions. We have submitted videos like that in the past, so they'd be easy to find. But we just wanted to show today that we know our stuff, and we're proud of the work that we put in. We're proud of what we do. And again, thank you very much for watching, and enjoy the rest of the semester.